join the Coffee Ann panel.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Time for Coffee Ann around the world and across the nation. Nice to have you with us today on Monday, May the 6th in 2024. This is Dave Richards, still sitting in for Joe Callahan, who'll be back this week sometime. And here she is, keeping me company for the next hour or so because she's just that kind of gal, Melissa Murray.
Good morning, everyone.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm dressed oddly in layers. But
I guess you are. You have your senatorial vest on.
that's
Underneath
extra.
that is a nice, comfy sweater. It looks like, and a somewhat paisley top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The weather's a little crazy right now, so I was a little chilly.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's chilly. It was chillier over the weekend in the morning. We were at 51, and we're up to 58 by now. Which, if this were February, you'd be walking
Right.
around, without a jacket on.
Right, I know. That's it's all relative.
Yes. Speaking of relatives, Mother's Day this coming weekend. Do we
That's
have
right.
plans?
Not yet. I'm sure we'll do something, but
Ah.
right now the dog and cat aren't planning anything for me.
Okay. The
That I know of.
Okay, I keep forgetting that that's that mentality. Okay.
Well, my brother and his
my
fiance.
dog Laddie never looked at me as a dad. Oh yeah, that stupid kid. He's there backing at it.
My brother and his fiance are expecting their first child any minute. So
Really?
it'll be
It's imminent, you said.
Yes, yeah. Yep. Could be today, could be tomorrow. So
Well, we wish
we'll see
them,
what
we
happens.
wish them good,
My mother's
good luck with
ecstatic.
that,
It's her
because-
first grandchild.
Well, minimum of drama. If they're having it in the hospital, the chances are very good, of course.
Yep.
We want a minimum of drama
Yes.
because it's rather a drama-filled time
It's
anyway.
it's pretty dramatic. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's cool. Let's talk about. You want to get your cup of coffee there while I
sure.
tell everybody what happened in the sports world over the weekend? Because if I don't, Joe will say, "Hey, had a lot of stuff going on. How come you didn't mention it on Coffee Ann?" And I know he's listening. So anyway, the Boston Bruins closed out the Toronto Maple Leafs with an overtime win Saturday night. Now, I was away, didn't hear anything about it. The fabulous Denise was watching the game, no doubt. Although she said, I'm just there's no doubt in my mind she watched it on the pay cable, but she did tell me as soon as I got back. She says, "You won't believe this, they won." That's what we were starting to think during the course of that 7-game series, because hey, they look pretty good. All right, yeah, Tampa's a good team, and they came out strong out of the box, and they take a commanding 3-1 lead in the series, and then they just let it fall away. But it took them to overtime to do it. So here this team in Tampa Bay, they fought valiantly against each other. Tampa Bay's a good hockey club, and they had to go overtime, and then the Bruins pulled it out. I don't think they're going to have nearly so much fun with the Florida Panthers coming up in the next series, which starts tonight, as a matter of fact, if I have my facts straight. Okay, well,
I believe you are correct.
Yeah. The Celtics did well last week, and they are now going to be playing the Cleveland Cavaliers, and this is tomorrow night. They defeated the Miami Heat in the first round. Isn't that interesting? The Bruins were playing Tampa, the Celtics were playing Miami, and Florida took the short end of the stick on both of them.
Oops.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Sorry, Florida.
So that's what's going on with that. Kentucky Derby. I don't see any funny hats or any special drink glasses in your hand, so I imagine you just let that pass right by without any particular notice, right? That's Saturday night's
Yeah,
Kentucky
no,
Derby.
I didn't do anything. No parties, no nothing. No.
It's 10 minutes before 6 when I was leaving the house, and I knew that it was coming up at 6:30. I said, well, I guess I'm going to miss it. But if you're like me and you missed it, or you didn't care, a 3-year-old horse, thoroughbred colt, named Mystic Dan, is the winner of the 150th Kentucky Derby. 20 horses competed in this year's race. Mystic Dan claimed victory and a nail biter that led to a photo finish.
Wow. Good.
The win comes with a more than $3 million prize. And of course, the fact that you can't take the Triple Crown if you don't win the first. And that's the first leg of the Triple Crown. Second place finisher was called Sierra Leone, which I thought was a place on the planet. But it's a horse too.
Right.
Scoring $1 million for second place. Forever Young came in third. And obviously will be older next time they try. And like that. So that was the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, I didn't do anything special this year.
Okay. I know some people who get very, very excited and go to Kentucky and, do all that. Of course, I know a Kentucky Colonel, too. Do you know a Kentucky Colonel?
No.
It's largely an honorary post, but, it's not military when they say colonel.
Right,
It's not military. It's an honorary thing. It has to do with the governor and being a quote-unquote Southern-style gentleman and recognized by the governor as being a Kentucky colonel, worthy of the honor, as it were. I know a Kentucky colonel. He clips hair over here on Grove Street.
Really?
Is a Kentucky colonel. I never had any interest in being a Kentucky colonel. Here's another guy who's getting ready to have some accolades thrown at him, as well as a few barbs. I thought that people had pretty much gotten over the idea of roasting folks.
Yeah.
No. Feeling very unloved and looking for a little attention, the streaming provider Netflix said, what can we do that won't cost us much money to put together, and yet it'll get us a lot of attention? Let's have a roast. And so guess who they're going to be roasting at the Netflix is a Joke Fest.
Oh,
That's
no.
what they're calling it. Their biggest expense is paying Kevin Hart to run the thing for them and be
the MC?
Toastmaster.
The
or
Toastmaster.
Roastmaster.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
All right. And they're going to do the greatest roast of all time, the roast of Tom Brady. Airs Sunday night,
Okay.
Mother's Day night.
I don't see that being a big thing. Seems like a and
Think
also
you'll hear a goat joke or two?
Who wants to? Right. I mean, who really wants to roast Tom Brady?
I don't know.
Some people,
Obviously-
some
obviously
people
Kevin
are
Hart wants
easier
'cause
to.
the money's right.
Well, sure.
Listen,
But I mean,
if it were really great, it would be on broadcast television. You got to know
right.
this. Because, listen, I was one of the first. I was a vanguard of what was to come in streaming television. And let me tell you something. I love it. It's near and dear to my heart. It does wonderful things in the community. We're so pleased for its success, and it really is. There are some months where the streaming television makes more profit than the radio. Mm-hmm. It's true.
Yeah.
Because of how seasons come and seasons go and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But let me just tell you something. Netflix, oh, look at this. They got millions of subscribers. Well, how many subscribers do they have now that they've gotten rid of the 2/3 of them that shared passwords?
Right.
Okay, fine.
And they blew up during COVID.
Right, and all the rest of this. So,
yeah,
okay,
I mean-
fine. But those might be growing pains. I don't want to be unkind. But my point is that I know this because I are one. If it were really going to be popular, if there was money to be made with it, they would put it on over-the-air broadcast television.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The fact that it's on Netflix does not mean that it is the best thing in the whole doggone world.
Yeah. I had a Netflix subscription.
You
and
do?
I had.
Oh, you had.
And then I moved,
And
and
you
I
had
thought,
to give it back to your mother?
no.
Just kidding.
Yeah, and then I moved, and I thought, well, I don't know. I don't really even watch that much TV. The only reason I had it was honestly when I worked out of town many years ago.
Yeah.
I got it from my dog sitter. Actually, I didn't own a television. I bought a TV because my dog sitter was like, oh, I would have stayed longer, for you, but you don't. There's nothing like for me to watch, and my dog's sleeping, and I had one dog. That's it. So I thought, you know what? Maybe I should buy a television. So I did, and then I'm like, oh, I don't want to pay for cable. and then I got Netflix. Mm-hmm. And then I watched it a little bit. And then during COVID and during the lockdown, I watched it. And then I just said, when I moved, I'm like, oh, let me cut some expenses. It was $8 a month. It wasn't a big expense, but
Well,
I
I know,
never
but that
used it,
adds
right?
up.
Yeah, so I didn't. But then
It's
recently,
almost $100 a year.
yeah, for entertainment, that's not a lot of money, but I never ever watched it. It's not something I do. My default is never television. So, but then I saw an ad on social media for Netflix series that I thought, wow, I could get into this. So I'm thinking about, signing up again. But I never shared my password or anything like that. But when they started cracking down on that, I thought, well,
They weren't warm and fuzzy, and
they got huge during the pandemic, and then when they got huge, they got greedy, and
yeah,
I said, I can drop this.
it's the way it goes. It's the American way.
But
it's one of the less attractive sides of capitalism.
Yeah. And but Tom Brady is I think it's an odd choice.
Okay, well, that's what it is.
I mean, it is what it is. It's not my
And
show.
they're
They can do what
calling
they
it
want.
Netflix is a Joke Fest,
Okay.
hosted by comedian Kevin Hart. Will feature guests from the worlds of sports, comedy, and entertainment. Whoever will work cheap.
Right. And folks will be sitting down on Mother's Day watching it.
And after all, Tom Brady's
don't
not
think
that
so.
busy right now.
Right,
So
yeah.
He's got stuff, he's got time. He can do that. No problem at all. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll be talking to Meg Rigo, Melissa.
That's right.
And we haven't had her on the show in a little while. But the weather's breaking, and Levitt is coming.
Levitt is coming.
June 14th, Flag Day, will be our very first concert for the 24 season. And the lineup of the headliner bands is set. Tomorrow night at Mill Race, we will have our band reveal party.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend, but but it's
Duty and
exciting.
providence on your part-time job.
Yeah, duties and providence. But how many years is this of Levitt now? This is fifth. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, and we're pretty excited. We were putting together the clips over the weekend of the bands and stuff. I think it's a very exciting season coming up. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes. We'll take a break too. But I did want to bring up something that is a little on the more serious side than what we've been chatting about so far. And this is something that's very difficult when you get to my point in time to rationalize the stupidity of government. So there's a new study out. Oh, and they love studies.
Yes,
That
love
claims,
studies.
and this study claims that gas stove emissions cause higher childhood asthma rates and even early death. We're killing our kiddies cooking their food on a gas stove. According to Stanford research published in the journal Science Advances, a mix of pollutants that are emitted and had been heretofore considered not serious could be responsible for as many as 200,000 such cases of asthma. And long-term exposure to nitrogen dioxide, which is the offshoot, from gas stoves, could also be causing as many as 19,000 adult deaths every year. Early in his presidency, President Biden pounded the podium and says, we're going to have the Consumer Product Safety Commission ban gas stoves. I think that the movement has gotten some traction in some areas of our country.
Really?
Yeah.
I've heard only pushback, and
Yeah. Well,
I have a gas stove. I love it.
well, it's better to cook on gas than it is on electric, we're told. Although most of all of our adult lives, Denise and I have had electric stoves because of the circumstances involved.
Yeah. But if you had your choice.
Right. If I had my choice, I've only cooked on a gas stove in my father's house, and I was gone from there when I was 17. So it's been too many years, really.
Okay.
But I remember I grew up in the home with a gas stove, and I recall if something went wrong with the oil burner, that the gas stove was employed to heat a large portion of the house.
And that's probably what they're talking about, but
No, but here's the thing. the government continues to get in the way of logic. And they think that they could, just because they pass a law, they can change the immutable rules of logic, geometry, etc. And this is my point, Melissa, and I'm looking for a comment afterwards. And the point is this. When I grew up, houses breathed. There were drafts. There were inefficiencies. They were not in 1742 when James Irons built the house my father raised us in. There were no government laws saying you have to make it tight, so tight that you have to push smoke through there, find any places where the smoke goes out, and this thing has to be like a sealed container.
Your
and then you
curtains
have to
must
go
not
and
move.
buy ventilation equipment to keep the air moving. But the government in many localities, like Massachusetts, I'm familiar with, mandates that you do this now. Now, if you have a gas stove, because of the government regulations, not because it gives off any intolerable amounts of whatever, now a gas stove's emissions are not going to leave the premises because the dopey government says, we're going to force you to save money on heat and stuff like that.
They're always looking out for us.
Is that your response?
That's my cheeky response.
I guess it is.
I have asthma. I did not grow up with a gas stove. I grew up with only electric stoves. It was very sad. But I developed asthma. But as an adult, I had my first gas stove, and it is so much nicer to cook on. You can control the
Yeah, the
temperature.
heat,
You can
yeah.
control the flame.
That's what I'm told.
And yes, right. And
And when I do cook on an open
love it.
flame, I like it better.
yeah.
I mean, like, but that's like on a grill that's using gas to power itself.
Right. So
But that's
I
also
just think
outdoors. So, I mean, I grew up, I don't have asthma, and I'm reasonably intelligent, healthy, and stuff like that. I was rip snorting pretty good when I left the house. So, although I've got a little more mileage nowadays. But the point I'm trying to make is that the government causes its own problems, and everyone pays for the mistakes of the overzealous government.
have you I'm sure you've heard of the Joe Jackson song, Everything Gives You Cancer. There's no
Well-
cure, there's no answer.
Well, I don't remember that one, but I do remember George Carlin saying that mother's milk leads to every malady. If you go back far enough,
Right. Everything
everyone
everything
who has
can kill
ever
you.
died on the planet was fed mother's milk. And so we should be passing a law against that.
Right,
because
right.
It
It was
it's conclusive.
same idea, same idea,
Billions of
right.
souls are lost. And they all started off drinking mother's milk.
Yep, same idea. So I love my gas stove. Don't take it away from me.
Well, they're going
And if I had to have a house built for like
Yeah.
custom gas stove.
Yeah. I think I would.
Yeah.
In the city, I would, because you've got natural gas. But remember, I raised my family out in Burrillville. We had to get you had to get the tanks brought in every couple of weeks and stuff like that. I know that my father had to constantly get tanks delivered for propane and like that. Well, anyway, let's move right along. I see that Meg Rigo is on the line. I'm going to play a little message over here, and then we'll be right back with Meg Rigo, and we'll talk about our fun party tomorrow night.
Are you looking for solutions to meet your business banking needs? At Milford Federal, the longest standing community bank in the area, they offer customized solutions for commercial lending, cash management, online banking, and payment processing services. Their business banking team is committed to the growth and success of your business with local decision making and a relationship based approach. Let Milford Federal be your banking partner. Visit them at milfordfederal.com today. Milford Federal Bank, our community, your bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender, and MLS number 465956.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
We're local and live at 99.5 FM, ON, AM, and FM. You betcha. And it's time now to say hello to Meg Rigo, phoning in from her palatial estate to talk about tomorrow night's party at Mill Race. Hello there, Meg. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks
Say-
for having me.
Yeah, you're.
Good morning, Meg.
Say hi to Melissa Murray.
Hello, Melissa.
Hi.
All right. So, Meg, were you listening to us on the speaker while you were waiting to come on?
I was listening to you on the speaker. I was a little nostalgic for the gas stove I had in the last apartment I lived in, but it also made me hopeful for, I feel like the only thing better than a gas stove has got to be a wood-fired pizza oven.
Here's a lead in.
And for anyone interested in testing out food from a wood-fired pizza oven, you all have the opportunity tomorrow evening right at 40 South Main at Mill Race, where we'll be firing up the wood-fired ovens and cooking pizzas for everyone that attends the Levitt Ants Band release party.
Absolutely.
Sounds delightful.
And not only that, of course, there's plenty of parking down there at Market Square, as you know, in the municipal parking lot and all. Although we do have some competition. There's a big party going on over at Christopher's up in the function room tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So we have a little competition. So get there early. Early is 6 o'clock, right?
Yes. So tomorrow evening, we're hosting a band release party for the 10 acts that will be headlining our 6th season of Levitt Amp Woonsocket. And it's held right at Mill Race at 40 South Main Street from 6 to 8 p.m. So starts at 6. There is plenty of parking.
The
There's a
speaking program
municipal lot-
begins at 7, right?
Begins at 7, exactly.
And then we
there
have
should
music
be
from a
time.
live band there too, which is so appropriate when you're talking about a live concert series.
We do. This phenomenal musician, Lisa Bello. She's based out of Boston, and it was actually funded through a NEFA, a New England Foundation for the Arts grant. When you get NEFA money, you know that you're getting really high caliber acts that are coming with it. So she'll be performing 2 sets, one at 6, and then one that'll start up at 7:15.
And people
yeah.
should not be put off by her last name. She really does sing nicely.
She bellows beautifully. Yes, she's an R&B performer. She's actually many times I've seen her performing the national anthem at Fenway Park or at the Boston Garden. So her Boston roots are pretty deep, but she has many awards to her name as well. And she used to be a former public school teacher in the Boston School Department. So she's done a little jack of all trades, if you will.
She's a very talented young lady. So Lisa Bello will be performing. Now, if people are coming, let's make sure they have a good, firm understanding of this. The old Mulvey Hardware, do we have to say that anymore? Probably not, right? Okay. Mill Race, right next door to the Museum of Working Culture. This is in the gathering space outside and just to the left, if you're looking at the front of the building. It's the one that's bordered by Vernon Street. Do I have that right? Or do
You
they not
do.
call that Vernon Street anymore? Because Vernon Street
No, it
technically
is
was
right
on the other
South
side,
Main and-
It's burning.
but
South Main
they
and
condemned
Vernon.
that and they made this Vernon Street, right?
Oh,
Meg, you
I
don't
thought
know
we were
these things.
still-
Meg, you understand.
I do not.
Meg lives
Melissa?
down south. She doesn't get all this. That's why she
Woonsocket
said
Express?
y'all.
I say y'all all the time.
It's starting to infiltrate the northern
It is. Yeah, yeah.
lexicon, do you think?
Becoming common vernacular, yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay.
It's just fun to say, guys.
So
That is fun to say,
You'll
yeah.
you'll see the ONTV truck down there in all of its glory, and you'll see everything's all set up with the band and everything else. So come on by and see us starting at 6 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, you're going to be talking about all the bands that are coming up, and we have quite the lineup this year. Are there some teases that you want to talk about? We're starting off with we've got Spanish, Latin. We have I was about to do something else that was going to give something away, and I don't want to do that because we got Zydeco coming.
Mm-hmm. He's on the inside track. He has to
We
be
have
careful not to
rock
reveal any
coming.
secrets.
We have Celtic music coming, and we have some old friends who have been here before.
Yes.
Emphasis
I
on
think that's
old.
a great review. I think it's pretty cool. We have 3 acts who are Grammy nominated. So across 3 different genres. Zydeco, this like hip hop brass band combo who I'm really excited about. We've been trying to get this act to Woonsocket for at
But
least
I checked
3
them
of
out. The hip
past
hop and rap is
festivals.
nothing that's going to be offending anyone. It's just the style.
It's wonderful.
It's family
this
friendly,
musician-
and nobody is going to be offended by the language.
Not at all. You're actually going to be
Unlike the song I played
joyous
just
of
before
it.
today's program.
These acts are based in, this act is based out of New Orleans, and they work in a traditional second line style. So think lots of horns and instruments marching through the streets. And then they also add, a hip hop flair, so adding some songs and lyrics throughout it. But they have some Grammy-nominated musicians in that band. We have this awesome Cuban act that is 4 times Grammy-nominated. And then our Zydeco act is also a Grammy-nominated
And
band.
Grammys, of course, are the highest form of tribute that the recording industry has for its members, right?
Exactly.
In case
Exactly.
somebody's not quite up to that.
And
and
So
our
those are
weather
some
for
accolades to have coming to Woonsocket for sure.
and our weather for tomorrow night exemplary. The
Oh,
best
wonderful.
of the
I got
entire
nervous
forecast.
today given the rain.
Tomorrow, I mean, today's going to be a nice day. I mean, 73, but there is a slight chance of a shower in the afternoon and maybe overnight. But tomorrow, mostly sunny skies and a high of 77.
Sounds like a perfect day for
Yes,
an outdoor concert.
It'd be beautiful for outdoor concert and celebration of the bands coming. So I hope the people, this will not be broadcast on our streaming TV, by the way. We'll be there, but don't think that you don't have to come and you'll just tune it in on the station. We want you there to celebrate and chomp down on some of that pizza. And what else do we have with the pizza?
Yeah, so pizza is entirely complimentary. It is part of NeighborWorks' and Millrace's gift to the community. So anyone that wants to come out, our pizza chefs will be cooking it up, and you're welcome to grab a slice or two. And then anything else is sort of BYOB. So whatever you want to bring to drink on the patio or any other snacks that you want to bring. We don't have food vendors that are looking to, support their businesses that night. We're just looking to bring people together and to celebrate.
So bring a bottle of
So,
water or something.
Yeah. Especially when it's 77 degrees. My goodness.
Yes. All right.
So we'll have the patio ready to go. The restrooms inside Millrace will be open for everybody. Free pizza for anyone that shows up. And then we have, as a special draw, the Levitt Foundation gives us some gifts. So we're part of, I think there's 55 communities across the country that have Levitt concerts going on this summer. They've really expanded. And one of the things that draws us together is some of the merch that they provide. So anyone that comes out tomorrow night will also get a limited edition Levitt amp tote bag. And it will draw you in
I love tote
connection
bags.
with all of the communities across the country.
I love tote bags, especially because one of the big chain full-service supermarkets refuses to give you a bag when discount stores can do it. Shame on them. And so I just bring bags in and shame them at the register. I say, listen, I know that you, nice local worker, have nothing to say about this, but I said, shame on this chain that charges you for a paper bag when discount places give it to you.
Yeah, right.
So I bring in a bag. Now I'll have a Levitt tote bag to
Yeah,
put in.
now you have a fancy tote bag too.
Or do I
Totally.
qualify for one because I'm staff?
You can qualify.
Is it just for the
You'll
visitors?
be one of the 50, though. So watch out. There's like 3 of us right here on the call that will have the bags first. So everyone's got to get there quick.
Yep. Okay. And the concerts start on Flag Day, Friday, June the 14th, and they will end on a regular Friday that isn't named for anything, August the 23rd. And we're skipping the 5th of July because it's the holiday weekend. And we figure,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got the 4th of July. You've got the 3rd of July in Woonsocket is when we'd have all the fireworks. If you also put in the 5th, and then you got the weekend, that may be too much for people. Besides, I think the volunteers all would like to have the holiday off, right?
I don't mind a July 5th by the beach. I really don't.
Meg Rigo, thanks for being with us this morning, talking about it. And forgive us, folks, for being a little tight-lipped, but it is an announcement, and we don't want to steal the thunder. Tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, mill race at 40 South Main Street, corner of Vernon Street at Market Square. Come on down and be part of the party. Thank you.
See you all tomorrow night.
You betcha. Bye.
Thanks, Meg.
Oh, boy. What a nice, shiny, effervescent personality she is. I always
She
feel
is.
good after talking to Meg Rigo. All right, now we'll be continuing with our program at this point. It's time for us to do the weather forecast. The weather forecast, my friends, is brought to you by the fine and shiny-faced people at the Positive Coaching Alliance. Partly sunny skies today with a high of 73, calm wind, and a 30% chance of a thunderstorm late in the afternoon. Tonight, calm winds and a mostly cloudy sky with an overnight low of 52. Tuesday's weather, mostly sunny skies, 77. Wednesday, mostly cloudy, high of 66 with a 50% chance of a shower. Thursday, cloudy skies, 61. Friday, 40% chance of rain, mostly cloudy with a high of 55. Saturday, a 30% chance of a shower, partial sunshine with a high of 56. And on Mother's Day, Sunday, partly sunny, 65. And presently outside our Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio here on Park Avenue, it is 60 degrees at 8:31 a.m. Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA is a national nonprofit organization developing better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Info at positivecoach.org.
Sam and Tina at Ollie's Pizzeria are so grateful for all the customers who voted them gold for best pizza in ON Radio's Best of the Blackstone Valley. Ollie's Pizzeria, where quality ingredients, expert craftsmanship, and a cozy ambiance come together to redefine your pizza cravings. Order online at olliespizzeriari.com. Ollie's Pizzeria, 204 South Main Street, Woonsocket, on the corner of Front Street and South Main. Ollie's Pizzeria, one of the best of the Blackstone Valley.
Write down today's business of the day and save it so you can enter to win a $100, $75, or $50 gift certificate we're giving away at the beginning of June to lucky listeners who send in a complete and accurate list of May's businesses of the day. Today's business of the day is Ollie's Pizzeria. Ollie's Pizzeria.
One of our gold medal winners in the Best of the Blackstone Valley is Marshan Environmental of Blackstone. They won gold in the category of septic service. They also won silver in the junk removal dumpsters category. For information, visit marshanenvironmental.com, one of the best of the Blackstone Valley.
Hey, it's ON Radio's Cruisin' Bruce Palmer, and I'd love to have you join me every Saturday for the Saturday Block Party. We start at 4 o'clock when I open up the ON Music Vault for you to pick whatever you want to hear or send to somebody special. Yes, the good old radio request days are back. Join me for the Saturday Block Party, Saturdays from 4 until 7 on ON Radio and streaming online at woonsocketradio.com.
We're back here on Coffee and on ON AM and FM radio and streaming live here on Woonsocketradio.com, plus the YouTube channel, plus the Instagram, plus the Twitter, X, and all the rest of that stuff and the website and blah, blah, blah. All right, and Melissa Murray is here. I've got one right up your alley here, Melissa.
Oh, great.
Prince fans rejoice. There is a new Airbnb featuring the legendary late rocker, and it's opening this summer in Minneapolis at a very special location in Minneapolis, because that's where the rocker came from, as you know, or that's where he was. That's where he lived. The property is a home formerly owned by Prince and was featured in the film Purple Rain. You can go there and stay there. Guests will have the chance to experience an intimate tour of the residence, listen to rare Prince songs, and even sleep in his bedroom if the price is right.
Oh, no. And what is the price?
Doesn't say.
Oh.
You have to call. It's part of a new initiative from Airbnb to reinvent themselves and to overcome the negative publicity known as Icon Experience.
Okay.
Now,
I want to look it up right now.
yeah. Are you curious?
Yeah, I am.
Serious? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would do it if the price was right.
If the price is right.
Yeah,
Yeah. I know.
yeah.
You have to come to. This is the
I mean,
sort
maybe I
of
have to
thing
wait a couple of years.
I can just smell price gouging
Oh, of course.
going on here.
Of course.
Oh, sure. Oh, my goodness. So that's kind of interesting. Did you hear about the game with the Arizona Diamondbacks last week, I think it was, or the week before? And they had to hold it back and stop the start of the game. They had to hold it back for 2 hours because just as people were gathering and the Diamondbacks were taking batting practice, they noted a fully formed beehive in the netting that protected people from balls coming back from home plate and hitting them
Oh,
in the face.
dear. What a disaster.
The
could
management
have
of the
been.
Diamondbacks, I mean, this is a natural occurrence.
Yeah, yeah,
There's no,
right.
there's no shame in any of this. But the management deemed it a health concern, safety concern, and so they put the game on hold. And I can tell you, when you put the game on hold, then there's the TV, the radio, people are going nuts backstage trying to figure out what to do at the time. But they inconvenienced everybody, including the folks that came to watch the game, and they brought out a professional bee handler who subdued the little critters and
With
removed
smoke, right? Yeah.
and professionally removed the hive and all the rest of that. Now, follow up to all of that, because that was just mildly amusing.
They built another?
Nope.
Oh.
The legend of the bee expert credited with saving the Diamondbacks game last Tuesday is growing. Topps, T-O-P-P-S, the folks that make the baseball cards, have announced this week that Matt Hilton, the beekeeper,
No.
has his own baseball card he's posed for after signing a deal with a trading card company. And you can buy his trading card now.
That's
The
unreal.
special car was available for 24 hours and went on sale for $9 on the Topps website. Some fans could receive an autographed version of the baseball card.
That's wild.
Can you imagine that? Well, you know,
I mean, he's
it's
kind of
one
a
those
hero.
things.
Can you imagine if they hadn't seen it and they hadn't
Can you
ball
imagine if he just didn't answer
hit?
that phone call from
Right,
the Diamondbacks?
right.
I'm busy. I'm having supper here. I'm not going to answer the phone.
Presumably, they would have called like the best, right? Or maybe just who was available.
Yeah.
Maybe he was lucky.
Whatever. So anyway, he ended up, by the way, they were so pleased with him that it started with this. He did his work, and they said, all right, we're going to start the game now. Why don't you come out and throw out the first pitch?
Wow.
So he threw out the first pitch. And they got pictures of him doing that, too.
And
he is
then-
a celebrity
yeah.
down in Phoenix.
Well, good for him.
I thought you'd like that one.
But I want to know what he did with the. Did he like put the hive somewhere else? We need those bees.
It doesn't say any of that. I mean, we presume, since he's a professional, that he handled the matter responsibly.
Right. Put him in a bee, whatever those.
An apiary.
Yeah, the things that folks have in their backyards and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
That's also like a beehive,
Yeah.
but it's
Right. It
artificial
is.
one.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, moving along. I know you like little critters, so
I
I'm going to bring
love
up
little
another little
critters.
critter story for
Yeah.
you there, Melissa. The public is being given a chance to help name the offspring of famous animal celebrity Punxsutawney Phil.
Get out, really?
Yep.
Well, it's not
The
the
babies
same.
were born on March 23rd to Phil and his better half, Phyllis.
Of course.
The Groundhog Club in Punxsutawney has placed name suggestion boxes all around town, and they're asking for the public to suggest their favorite names for the baby groundhogs. This is kind of interesting because, like, for instance, Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, has dozens of people that live there. And it, of course, is thousands when
Yeah.
Groundhog Day comes along.
Yep.
But so the dozens that remain, the permanent residents, are all being asked to fill in, and now they're bringing it out to other people as well, so they can go in and take a chance. Winning names will then be announced on Mother's Day, which is coming up on Sunday.
Oh, cute. Well, one of them has to be Phil, right? Because, or Phil Jr. or Phil the 14th or whatever it is, because there's been many Punxsutawney Phils. It's the
gosh.
groundhogs only live so long.
That's right. It's like the Dread Pirate Robert. You don't remember that?
No, I don't.
The Princess Bride movie?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The Dread
Right,
Pirate
yeah,
Robert?
Yeah,
There's a succession of Dread Pirate
right,
Roberts.
right. The succession has to go on.
Right. And there's a succession of Punxsutawney Phils.
Yeah, and there's never a Punxsutawney Phyllis.
There is.
Well, I mean there is, but she doesn't.
But
you
she
know,
doesn't have the same job.
She doesn't have the same job.
Right. Her job is to perpetuate Punxsutawney Phil. And like that.
Classic. I won't say anything.
Go ahead. You can say it if you like. But remember, these are animals, and they're not quite
No,
as hung
I
up
know.
on
I'm just
political
being silly.
correctness.
I'm just being silly.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. On the other hand, alligator harvesting. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you have a deeply held belief about that topic, but down in Florida, they are what pigeons are and geese are to New Englanders. Alligators are to the Floridians, and other states down south too. But I'm thinking of Floridians because the story is from Florida, Tallahassee, where the seat of government is in that state. Say that hunters will now have 2 opportunities to bag an alligator this year in Florida. In addition to the statewide alligator harvest, which they employ anybody who wants one to please decrease the population, applications are now being accepted for a new, quote, alligator super hunt.
Oh.
Traditional hunters are restricted to 2 alligators from a specific area.
Mm-hmm.
Under the super hunt, each permit allows the taking of 2 alligators from most management areas and private property, so long as you have the owner's permission.
Okay. You can't just go on someone's property.
Right. In the
Although
regular hunt, you can't do it from private property.
Yeah. If I had alligators on my property, I wouldn't mind if folks just wanted to come and take care of that for me for
So
free.
you give permission.
Absolutely.
There you go.
I wouldn't live somewhere where there would be alligators on my property, though.
Well, alligator season. There's an alligator season. Do you know when it is?
No, I have no
It
idea.
doesn't start for a couple of months yet. August 15th,
Okay.
birthday of a famous person I know. August 15th
That's right. Same. Yeah.
to November 8th is alligator hunting season.
Okay.
But those of you who are picked for the super hunt have until the end of the year to get both of yours.
Okay.
And remember, they in the word, they're very, very sensitive in this story. They use the word harvest, not kill.
Mm-hmm.
Although alligators are not agreeable to being captured. So generally speaking, you have to prove the point by sending them off to their maker.
Right.
Yes.
And you can eat them. I've had alligator.
Well, I'm told that you can.
You
Yeah.
can? Yeah.
I've never had the opportunity to choose to eat alligator.
It's a little chewy, a little tough, as you would imagine.
Chili?
Chewy.
A chewy.
Chewy.
Okay.
Yeah, toothsome.
Yes. Well, okay. Toothsome.
Yes.
On your part.
Yeah, right.
All right. Very good. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more coffee and discussion.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Appreciate your customers and give them the best job possible. That's been their motto at Michaud's Auto Body since 1948. They have continually invested in the newest and best frame unibody equipment available, as well as color matching techniques. Michaud's Auto Body is a certified Class A facility where all collision repairs are 100% guaranteed. Michaud's Auto Body at 430 Privilege Street, Woonsocket, 769-1983.
You can depend on us for public service.
That's us right here at ON Radio, and we continue with Coffee and program here. Melissa Murray's here. We heard from Meg Rigo earlier. We'll repeat some of her message a little bit before we go.
Before
But we have
before
serious...
we delve into the news, I have an update on the Prince Airbnb. The Airbnb will select guests through an application and random lottery. And most of the Icon offerings are free for those selected, though some cost up to $100 per guest. So that's pretty good. And the hosts for this Prince Airbnb are Wendy and Lisa.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Okay.
Which Wendy and Lisa are we speaking of?
They were members of his backup band. They're pretty well known. Yes.
So they got the house.
Well, I mean, they're listed as the hosts, but they're probably not like the actual hosts.
Oh.
It's just a little thing. So you have to enter into a lottery.
How nice.
I mean, I might do it.
Well, go. Let us know how that works out for you.
If I win, I will definitely let you know and take
Well,
lots
that's
of
all right.
pictures if I'm allowed.
No harm done, I'm sure. All right. Well, getting into some of the news now. We've got. You probably remember all the whispering and talk about the consternation that somebody was shooting a gun near Pacheco Park.
Yes.
In Slatersville.
Yep.
Some time back. I think it was March of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then you didn't hear much for a long time, but it really came around. And there's a man named Elliot Knorr, Knorr, age 44, who used to live in Slatersville. Now will be residing in Cranston for
yes.
the next 6 years before getting a chance to move back.
He had ghost guns and how many ghost guns?
Yeah, ghost guns. Let's see. I'll get the number over here. 15 ghost guns. But more than all of that, they found large capacity magazines, which are now a no-no.
Yep.
And they had the 36 large capacity magazines, 23 guns in all, including 15 ghost guns. But here's the big part that really made my eyes open up. Ghost gun jigs were found in his dwelling, as well as manufacturing tools. In other words, he was making them.
He's making guns. Yeah.
And that is a big bozo no-no.
Yep. That's right.
Without all the proper government permits and stuff like that. So that is a really serious charge. And but he saw what they had against him. And oh, by the way, some of the evidence, did you hear about some of the evidence? The thing that really brought it home, and is probably the reason why he decided to say, okay, Nolo, I admit it, let's get this over with, give me my punishment. He didn't want to carry it out because when they seized all these guns and ammunition and manufacturing equipment in his dwelling, they also took his cell phone. And of course, the cops they're not into privacy. They go right into it and see what the young man had in his cell phone. They reviewed a video on the cell phone of the shooting incident in question in March of 2023.
Oh my goodness.
That depicted the defendant voluntarily being shot in his backyard, which abuts Pacheco Park. 2 bystanders nearby in the line of fire, so that wasn't set up to be particularly safe. The defendant later told investigators that, well, I volunteered to be shot with rubber buckshot just to prove a point.
Just to prove a point.
And the point was, guess what?
It's
You're
not
in a heap
that,
of trouble, boy.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, when you see that they've got that much on you, plus video, it seems to me that it's time to fold your cards.
Yeah.
You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
That's right. I'm surprised
get
he only
6
got
years behind me, so I can go off for the rest of my life. He'll be 50 by the time he gets out of the pen.
Yes, not a young man, old enough to know better.
Well, you would expect that.
You would
It
think.
depends on his upbringing. He might have been a late bloomer.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that this experience will impress upon him the laws of the state.
Yeah, not a good idea to, shoot guns around a public park
or nearby.
or nearby a public
Because
park, or you know,
the problem with guns is that once it leaves the barrel, you have no control over it.
Right.
And I'm sorry, isn't good enough
no.
if something bad happens.
And even if
So
it was just
that's
rubber
why-
bullets,
Yeah.
you know, those can take out an eye. Those can hit
Oh, sure.
somebody in the temple. And like, yeah,
Right.
bad news.
So I see you took your Senator vest off.
Yeah, I'm acclimating.
Yeah, but but I now have to ask you a General Assembly.
Oh, shall I put it
question.
back on? No.
No. It's radio, so I'm describing.
Yeah,
things to
no,
people.
no,
I have
no.
a picture of. Oh, stop! Wait. Coming in on the text from Joe Callahan.
Oh, hello, Joe.
Joe Callahan texts in this morning to the Coffee and panel. Greetings from Disney World. Having a wonderful time. Never coming back.
Oh no.
LOL. He's getting me back
Yep.
because when we were out in Vegas earlier this month, I sent him a similar text
Yeah.
saying, we're never coming back.
Well, my vacation's not coming up until November, so.
All right. Yeah, you have to wait till after the arduous task
Yeah.
of shining a light on all of what you've done.
Yeah.
All right, maybe you can explain this one
Okay, I'll try.
because it's something the Senate did collectively. And I have questions about it, and I'm not really teasing. I really do have some questions about it. General Assembly is moving to protect reproductive health services and gender affirming care. All right. You know, if the government, if the Senate voted to resolve "Good morning, everyone," they would say that the Senate moved to preserve positive attitudes and good mental health
right, yeah,
for
no.
all. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Right. So they kind of blow it up in the headline, but this is what they did, and you know because you were there.
I did.
For
I
the
voted.
sake of the
And I
audience,
voted on it. Yeah.
they passed a Healthcare Provider Shield Act.
Correct.
On Friday, I think it was. No, Thursday.
Thursday.
The intent, it says here, see if you recognize the bill when it's put in a news story. The intent is to protect doctors and other healthcare providers in Rhode Island from legal action from other states where abortion and other reproductive health care services have been limited since the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in 2022. A similar bill is pending in the House committee. Okay, so you want to help me make some sense out of this? In Rhode Island, we're passing a law that protects doctors and healthcare professionals in our state from other states that have
Correct.
no jurisdiction here to do anything to them anyway.
Because other states are passing laws saying that they can go after doctors and healthcare providers in other states. They're
What
saying
makes them say that?
because if they have
Because they're going outside their jurisdiction.
right, correct.
Only the federal government can go outside its jurisdiction.
Well, I'm sure.
And it can't do it without proper government approval, the presidential authority, et cetera, like that.
I'm going to say
Is this
that
another
I'm
marijuana thing? We're going to pass a law because we want to and make them stop us.
No. So when, all right, say there is X state next to us.
Let's say
They restrict
the state of Euphoria.
right.
Well, make
They-
believe that that's the 51st state in the United States.
Right.
Euphoria.
They restrict abortion. They restrict certain medications. They restrict healthcare access. Someone finds themselves in need of healthcare that they can't get in their state.
Right. So they travel
They
to a
travel.
jurisdiction that's more friendly to their problem.
However, if this state, other state, says, well, you know, we're going to prosecute not just you, but also
If their home state.
Yep, we're people,
Don't come back home because now we're going to prosecute you.
or right. I mean, and who can do that? Move away indefinitely. You know, people are just trying to get the health care that they need, right? And so they're saying, well, we're going to go after the providers and anyone that assisted you. And, you know, here in this state, first of all, we don't even have enough, as you know, doctors, nurses, healthcare providers here. Hopefully, because we have this protection, we can get some more to move into the state. But at the end of the day, doctors, and healthcare providers, they're the knowledge, they have the knowledge. They should be able to care for their patients without fear of being persecuted by another state. And
Regardless of where that patient
right.
lives.
Your job is to, when someone presents to you, is to offer care within the limits of the law. So this would protect, theoretically, if one of those other states, and I'm sure it's going to be tested. I'm sure that it'll be tested. And so we'll see when it gets to that level, that will be protected, that our healthcare providers will be protected.
Well, that's ridiculous because suppose Dr. Y, no, let's not say that because that could be a joke. Dr. X, all right, there's a young person that presents to them, they have a problem, they can't get care in their state, and Dr. X says, okay, fine, this is what we do. Do you agree? Okay, sign the forms. We do it. It's legal here in the state of Rhode Island. Everything's just fine. But then Dr. X takes vacation and drives his family down to Florida and passes through the state of Euphoria. They could actually take him and put him away and charge him with what he did that was legal when he did it in Rhode Island.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right.
That's what you're trying to say.
I mean, it's getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous. So, this is in reaction to other states saying, okay, we're going to come after you. We're going to follow you into the next state, and we're going to go after the healthcare providers in the next state. And, here in Rhode Island, we have laws. We protect our healthcare providers, and that is exactly what we're doing. People are making it into the issue of abortion. People are making it into, other issues, but what we're doing is protecting our healthcare providers.
No, you're not.
We're attempting to, right?
Well,
yeah.
attempted, yeah, right.
Right. But I mean, it will be challenged. I believe it will be
on the
challenged.
national stage,
either way.
They're saying, we're going to do this, and this is Rhode Island passing this last Thursday, or at least the Senate, and we expect the House.
We do.
They're
we
all
do
running
expect
for
the
re-election.
House.
They're going to pass it too.
Right.
They're going to say, no, sir. That's the effect it's going to have on the whole question. No, sir. No, you can't.
Well, then you won't just be
You
able
can't
to
stop the other state from doing it.
I know that folks will try. I know that this will be challenged.
Mm-hmm.
I'm. That is the temperature in our country right now. So.
And it's getting hotter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Summertime's coming.
Yep. November is getting closer and closer, and everything's gonna ramp up. It's gonna be a wild ride.
Mm-hmm. All right. By the way, there's a follow-up text from Joe Callahan, including a picture of him, his wife Gail, a very fashionable, Hawaiian shirt, by the way, with posing with Pluto, Mickey's dog.
Yeah.
And he sent a copy to you because he knows how much you love animals.
Oh. Let me go see it.
All righty. So, well, that's cool. Thanks, Joe, and thanks for tuning in.
Oh, so cute.
We can't show it on the TV.
No, we
because,
can't. But
a text just doesn't translate onto the
Oh
TV.
yeah. They both look very well. Even Pluto. Everyone looks very happy and
do.
relaxed.
Well, it's the happiest place on earth, isn't it?
Yeah, and warm.
Yeah, I bet you it is too. Yeah, considering how he's dressed there.
It's great.
No
I
Senate
love it.
vest on Joe Callahan. That's for sure.
No.
All right.
I'm jealous.
No.
My time will come.
Oh, good. All right. So, all right. Well, that's the whole thing I was asking. How are you going to make this stick? You can't make this stick. You got to go to the feds and get the federal government to do something about it. You don't want to do it now because the feds will side with the other states. And why would you wait? Because you've got the liberal Biden and the painfully conservative and ignorant Trump up against themselves, up against each other in November. And if Kennedy doesn't win, which would be problematic on a different level and different scale, but if he doesn't win, then one or the other is going to be there, and that's going to be how the states will get along with trying to go to the Supreme Court to settle a matter between states. And my boys and girls, that's what the Supreme Court of the United States was supposed to be for, to settle arguments between states in the Union. Right.
Right.
So I think you went about it wrong. That's my personal opinion. I think you should have passed a law to say any state that does that, we're going to send the state militia to, and we're going to beat you guys up. So
I don't think
I don't know
that'd be
what
very
state
popular.
it would be. Let's just say it was Texas or
Right,
Louisiana or something
wherever.
else like
That's why
that,
I
right?
said state X.
If they
wherever.
said that, and they said, "Well, we're going to
send
charge
our
your doctors and nurses and healthcare professionals. If they ever set foot in our state, we're putting them in jail." And then you'll have to pass a law saying, "Well, yeah, just try it. You do, and we're going to send Governor Dan McKee and the entire Rhode Island National Guard past your borders and take your governor."
Yeah,
and
that
that'll be that.
sounds.
It is as logical and sane as this argument is. It's just blown up to the next level.
Yeah, everything is blown out of control,
Yeah.
And then we have states saying, well, we're not going to offer you this health care or these procedures or whatever it is, and then also or what medication, which is a slippery slope, and then saying, well, and now we're also going to post people on the main thoroughfares going outside of this state, and if you have this, we're going to arrest you, or if you're going, like the state's trying to control what you do, where you go, what medication you take. It is bananas. It's bananas.
It is so comforting for me to have someone of your political views actually admit this, because I've been screaming it at the top of my lungs for the last 20 years that we're going this way, and
Yeah.
somebody better drag their feet and slow it down, because we're going to wake up one day and find out that that's the way it is.
Yeah, and we're going to come like little sovereign states. We're one country. You should be able to pass from state to state and not have to worry about.
You would expect that.
Yes, right. We're the United States of America. Hello.
That's
Yeah.
up for discussion.
That is up for discussion now. Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
It is.
Well, so over the weekend we had Rhode Island Independence Day on Saturday,
We did.
where for a brief couple of months, the colony of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations was the first sovereign nation on the North American continent. For that used to be a colony of Great Britain. Of course, the first one was really California, and the second one was Texas. The third one, I'm sorry, was Texas. But we didn't know about California at the time, and they weren't part of the country, right?
Right.
So it was like, okay, it's California, goes way back before 1776 because Spanish colonization. All right. And then, but of the part of North America that we knew about at the time, it was the very first sovereign nation.
Yes.
And then later on, Texas, but then we found out that California was earlier.
And the independent man has returned to the State House.
Yes.
All,
Isn't that wonderful?
all shined up and, yeah.
You would have been so proud of me. I was such a good guest. I was in Williamsburg, Virginia for a conference, a broadcasting conference. And as part of the entertainment, they had someone in costume dress up to be someone, if it wasn't Patrick Henry, it was in his clique, come in period costume and talk in the dialect of the time and talk to us all and greet us
Yep.
to the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Okay.
And one of the things he said, the very first to renounce our allegiance to the crown. I said to myself, bite your tongue, Dave, because this is not the place for me to stand up and have an argument with this poor
With a reenactment
slob. This
actor.
poor slob who's an actor and just reading a part and doing his thing. He is
Yeah,
not going to
yeah,
be
yeah.
equipped for me to come up and say, wait a minute, Rhode
That's-
Island.
That's revisionist history, as people say now. Yes.
All right. Hey, it's been
We were
swell
the
talking to you
first.
today. Melissa, have yourself a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you.
And,
you
we'll-
as well. Everyone
we'll see
have
you
a great
around the
week.
place, I'm sure.
Yep.
Thanks to Meg Rigo for bringing light and excitement to our program this morning.
That's
from
right.
down south. And as we get ready for tomorrow night's Levitt Reveal Party at 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock
The big reveal
at Mill Race. And like that.
with pizza.
Right. And it's not going to be broadcast, so you have to come down if you want to know.
That's right.
And bring your calendar so you know what dates you want to make sure that you're in the park, no fail, and don't schedule anything for those dates. You're going to need that come up tomorrow.
And I think that means that summer has unofficially begun.
Well, actually, when the series
Just give it to me.
when the series begins, it really won't astronomically
okay.
be summer, but psychologically.
Right.
Yeah,
Let's
psychologically-
I'm already there.
Yeah, I can see that coming. And then socially, it's May, is it 27th this month? Yeah, 27th, which is Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, then there's all the things that happened in June with graduation and everything else like that, kids letting out of school. All of them are harbingers of summer. And then after everything's in full swing on the 20th, we'll have summer, astronomically.
But when Levitt releases its bands for the
Yeah.
year, when they have their release, their launch, that is we're not far away. Let's put it that way.
And some hot fun in the summer times coming up. Folks, thanks, Melissa. Thanks for being with us today on our program. Remember, if you missed any portion of our program, pick it up on demand at WoonSocketRadio.com. Coming up next, we'll have a spot of news, and then, Leslie is in the place, right? And she's going to tell us what's going on at the Harris Public Library. Karen Zangari is ready with a Food First program. No Gary today and the crew. Today, Monday, is their day off because they have a barber's schedule. Make it a good day.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. A tractor-trailer truck driver from Providence has been injured in a construction zone crash up in New Hampshire. State troopers believe 43-year-old Kenneth Izari fell asleep at the wheel while entering a construction zone overnight on Saturday. He then swerved and became stuck after hitting construction barriers and barrels. He was taken to a hospital up in New Hampshire to be treated for injuries that are not considered life-threatening. The refurbished Independent Man statue is now on display at the Rhode Island State House after making its public debut in time for Rhode Island Independence Day. In marking the day, Governor Dan McKee said 248 years ago, Rhode Island was the first of the 13 colonies to declare its independence from Great Britain, and what better way to commemorate the day than with the official return of the newly restored Independent Man, the state's symbol of hope and freedom. The statue will be on display inside the State House during regular weekday hours until it is returned to the top of the dome this fall.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. Millions living in the central U.S. are bracing for possible tornadoes. Forecasters say a storm front currently dumping heavy rain and snow in the northwest will bring severe weather to the Midwest and Central Plains today into tomorrow. Former President Donald Trump's hush money trial is entering its fourth week in Lower Manhattan. More from Paul DeCastro.
Trump's former communications director, Hope Hicks, took the stand on Friday. She said the Trump campaign went into damage control after that infamous Access Hollywood audio clip became public in 2016. Prosecutors argue the negative fallout influenced Trump's decision to falsify business records and issue payments to adult film actress Stormy Daniels and former Playboy model Karen McDougal.